Got
Hello,
it.
everybody. Steve, slightly slanted sleuth for the truth, joined today with Jack, who has a channel on YouTube, Freighter Deas Est Veritas. I always screw that up. What's up, Jack? How are you?
I'm all right, man. Just going along with it. So yeah, I'm still on like American time, man. I swear, because I haven't had a job. I still feel like I'm like just going. I still am going to bed like really late, like 4 or 5 a.m., and then just getting up at like midday. So yeah, you only adjust your body clock if you've got to be up for something in the morning. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah, me, I don't use an alarm or anything. I just wake right up.
yeah, yeah. I'm looking for the stream on YouTube.
Yeah, I found it.
Oh yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's there yet. So, I mean, it's because I had no pre-warning or anything. We'll just see. I'll share it on my community posts. Oh, there's three watching. Maybe that's us. Oh, God of fuck is in the house. What's up, brother or
Yeah.
sister?
Do you know what? On the chat, I felt like when I was in the chat with you and Phil's stream you did the other day, I
Yeah,
started getting involved with all the nonsense that goes on in the chat.
yeah, it's kind of fun actually sometimes.
Yeah. I was kind of just joking around and joshing, you know.
It's fun to
So
do that. I do that all the time, dude.
yeah. But yeah, man. So you got yourself a new steel drum,
Yeah, I got a tongue drum.
a tongue drum.
Yeah, it's because it's got little tongues cut into it. I got the 12-inch version
Oh,
with 13
nice.
notes.
Is it what's the temperament of the tuning? Is
I
it
think
like,
it's C.
oh, it's like the Western scale though.
Huh?
Is it the Western scale or is it like a pentatonic scale?
I have no idea. Oh, you mean where you go?
The difference in frequency between each intervals.
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't really look into. I just liked how it sounded, so I got.
Sounds like the music from The Exorcist when you started playing that. Oh man. So yeah, I was gonna say I got something interesting I can tell you actually, Steve.
What's up?
So I found some tea in my mum's tea cupboard called St. John's Wort. Well, St. John's Wort is like supposedly have like healing properties and stuff like that.
St. John's Wort, you said?
Yeah, St. John's Wort.
Yeah.
So I decided to like have a cup of tea before I went to bed of it because I didn't want to drink caffeinated tea. And I ended up having this crazy apocalyptic dream where like I was in Cali and it was like the big earthquake hitting and like all these volcanoes and fire in the sky and it was like volcanoes and earthquakes. It was like some crazy like like apocalyptic in a weird way, right? So I was like, I woke up in the morning. I was like, wow, that was really interesting. Like that St. John's Wort tea made me have
Trying
an
to block this light
apocalyptic
out
dream.
so it's not blinding people. Sorry.
Pardon?
I'm trying to block the light up behind me.
Oh, that's all right, man. Yeah. So that happened. And then now this is where it gets interesting. So the other night I was like, I'm going to drink that St. John's Wort tea again before I go to sleep. And I was like, I wonder if I have like an apocalyptic dream again. And then I kind of did, but much more like real apocalypse because like in the dream it was like pitch black and I had the like sensation of like traveling really fast, like, but what it was like in the dream I was moving upwards at this really like I was just pitch black, but my awareness, right, I didn't have a body and I was moving like upwards at like some like pretty much like infinite speed. But also like the other thing was that if I then turned left, 90 degrees to the left. That was the point of ascension and creation simultaneously. I was aware that like creation and ascension were like the same thing, basically. It was really bizarre. But I think, but definitely the main theme was like it was totally black, and I was traveling really fast, and then moving 90 degrees to the left as well. And yeah, that was ascension and creation right there. But like I didn't, but I was thinking like 90 degrees to the left. So like that's kind of like the right arm of the creator, isn't it? To
Like,
the
yeah,
right.
I was just gonna say,
So if I'm going 90 degrees to the left and I like was at the point of ascension and creation, I guess it was like from the perspective of the logos in the like riddle in the metaphor. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
It was trippy, dude. It was really trippy. And like, you know, you wake up sometimes and you go back to sleep. Like I woke up in the morning and went back to sleep and then like continued having the dream as well. It's really bizarre. So yeah, that's the 2 times I drank St. John's Wort tea. So like the first time was consciously, and the first time was unconscious. I just drank it because I only had it because it was called St. John's. So I was like, oh, St. John, I'll go for that, you know. So yeah, man. That was quite interesting though.
yeah. You must have just watched one of Phil's videos on.
I did, yes, that's true. I watched one of Phil's videos when I was going to sleep. Yeah. Yeah. How did you know, man?
Well, because that sounds exactly what he talks about on, the light and
Yeah.
how you come to it. And that's why I asked him if he thought that everyone's experience at that moment is the same, or is it interpreted differently just because each person is, got a different lens about them. You know what I mean? And he said, what did he say? He said, no, it should be the same,
Well,
that moment.
well, here's the thing, because
And I don't know if that's true or not, but
well, it makes sense that it would be, because if it's reconciliation of all polar opposites, it would be the ultimate reconciliation between both
got to be the
subjectivity
one truth, right?
and objectivity, right? So it's a subjective experience you're having as an initiate, or no, yeah, initiate, but every initiate has the very same subjective experience or sees
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yep.
Because then that would be a reconciliation of polarity. If you, well,
But then you run into the why is the Gnostics, naming it this and that. But I mean, and describing it like a lion-faced serpent and all that, and then there's other cultures that Quetzalcoatl, and another culture is, Jesus, or, a cross, you know what I mean? But I mean, essentially it's got to be the same program, right? That moment that you were just talking about in your dream.
Yeah, it was definitely there was a thought in my mind that I had to turn 90 degrees to the left. I don't know why. I don't understand that, but it was definitely like an Abyssian blackness that I experienced. I didn't have a body, but I was aware. I was aware. I wasn't. I didn't think I wasn't aware that I was dreaming, but I was aware that I was at the point where ascension and creation is the same thing in the dream.
Yeah.
It was very. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, that's pretty much what Phil says, and that's what it is, the moment. But recently I've been having these weird things about, and somebody just in the chat said, I've noticed a lot have been slacking in spelling lately. What causes that, do you think? Typically I say spell how you like, but some I feel would like to be corrected, like myself. Jesus. But anyway, recently I just a simple word alone. I mean, what is that broken down to? You break that in half. What do you got? You got all one, and shit like that. It just stuff like that's been smacking me in the face left and right lately. Just simple word salad, and it all always leads back to one.
Yeah.
the race that only one wins, and we are all in that one. We are all that one. And that's the short and long of it right there is that people just think that's way too far, way too simple for it to be the case. But it's not simple.
I know you didn't want to talk about it, but I will. We won't talk about it. But the behavior of certain individuals I find extremely irritating at the moment. In particular, I'm really like angry. Well, not angry. Angry. Yeah, I guess angry. But I got a lot of negative emotion towards these types of people at the moment. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you doing all this? Like, for what? But like I said, so
I think we can, if we change our the way we feel about certain issues, that we can change it only through that, and that's because we're changing it through our heart and our feeling of that.
Yeah,
that's just how I see it. And I don't agree with a lot of things either, and I get super irritated by certain things too. And I think we have to battle that. That's the true battle. That's where the whole twixt forces take hold.
Yeah, well, it's really the malevolence of those responsible for invoking this zeitgeist. It really is a despicable thing that they're doing. It's extremely surreptitious, and if I'm honest with myself, it has like generated a lot of negative emotion in me. Do you know what I mean? But what it is, it's another layer of complexity on top of like all the shit I've been going through, and it's just like I really don't need it. I went to a restaurant the other day, Steve, and the guy was like, "Oh, you have to do the government track and trace app and wear your mask if you got to come in." And I just looked at him. I was like, "No, I'm not doing it. Absolutely not. I'll walk home if I have to." And he was like, "Oh, it's okay, dude. Like, just come in." I was like, "Thank you for like," but yeah, no, but it's like I don't know how I just felt I had to get that off my chest, Steve. There's no point really dwelling on it, but it is what it is at the moment, and
right there in that statement. When did that statement start coming on the scene in our reality? It is what it is. Really think about that. Really think about that, because that's when things were brought to, ahead in a sense, because it's been like 6-7 years now that I've been hearing that it is what it is.
Yeah, it's about that old, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always used to think it was silly, that statement, but that statement is quite revealing if you analyze it. And I think that is essentially.
What do you mean by that?
It is what it is.
You could also you could translate that as God is what God is.
Or anything, it is what it is, and it's going to be that way until you make it what it ain't.
Yeah.
That's because it is us, the observer, that is the center of our reality.
Well, the good thing
just like the black hole in the center of the galaxy. We are the black hole in the center of our reality. We consume.
Speaking of black holes, did you see that? Like some German telescope, like the Mercadian projection of the X-rays.
Yeah,
it looks trippy, doesn't it? It looks like where the universe is basically dissipating back into the abyss over time. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
Do you want to pull up the picture? Should I pull it up?
Go ahead.
What I was going to say, just to close out that, like venting steam and frustration, Steve. At least one of the good things about being in the cosmos is that things are going to change, and it's not going to, it never really has any substantiality. All this bollocks that's going on at the moment.
This is true.
It's going to.
It's like as you get closer to being alone, You know, you realize that, you know, you're all one. So what does it matter if you're, you know, alone, because you're all one. That's what I've been stuck on today for some reason. So, you know,
Interesting.
it's like, you know, the macro meets the micro,
But
all in you.
you know, in that division of one, that what could be like, just say it's a very large number, near infinite, whatever, the division of one into the many in the cosmos. There are definitely souls that are falling deeper into matter and into the material realm. It's almost like they're descending down the kingdoms, you know.
Well, there's always going to be that. There's always going to be a
There's like
something.
a movement, there's like an economy to the movement of souls moving up and down.
That's what it says in the Emerald Tablets too. The same thing. You know, there's an ebb and flow to everything, and that's
Yeah,
even us.
yeah, the Riddim man. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I missed reading the Emerald Tablets. You know, I don't know if they're totally legit or what, or if Doriel was just somebody that was enlightened enough you know, to put that stuff down on paper. But you know, it sounds to me like it's spot on with everything I've heard from several other sources that rings true with me. You know.
yeah, yeah. That's the good thing though. When there's, you know, I think when like there are tough times or you're going through tough times, having a good grasp of mysticism is an antidote to that, because you can think your way out of your emotional state with higher thinking, you know.
Yes.
It's like, well, you know,
Has
it's
something to
like
cling
this
to.
zeitgeist is really shit, Steve, but the people responsible are doomed. The, the whole thing, the zeitgeist is doomed, you know. So that's might as well not worry about it so much or get so angry or frustrated about it, you know.
Yeah, and then you know, there's you know, people just need to realize, get busy living or get busy dying. You know, you're already dead. Get over it already. You know, you're born
Oh, what
dead.
like it? What's that film with?
You're gonna die. So just get over it and live.
You
Fuck the
just
world.
reminded me of that movie Beetlejuice when you said that. Like, yeah,
Really?
yeah. Get busy living or get busy dying. Well, we're already dead.
Right.
Yeah, certainly are, man. Certainly
And you
are.
know, so what's the sense of dwelling on any of this shit? Just make your attitude an attitude of gratitude. Be grateful for what you have. Do unto others as you'd have done to you. Open doors for people, smile at people, just love people, you know. And if that shit rolls downhill as well as a snowball or shit or whatever, you know, so do it the right way, you know,
Yeah,
instead of going out there and just propagating the negativity that is our world right now. We know it. Why pound it through our own heads? Why repeat it? Why give it anything? Don't give it anything. You know,
yeah.
you
Don't
be
feed
aware
the
that it's there.
troll. Don't feed the beast, man. It's true. It's true what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
you do still, like you say, there's an ebb and flow to your emotions, and like I say, you got a higher knowledge can give some, well, not
there's certain
some.
aspects of my day that I lose contact with, you know, trying to be calm, and that's driving.
Oh,
Or
really?
yeah, driving. When I'm behind the wheel of the car, I turn into a maniac.
Oh, you like a shit driver with road rage and stuff like that?
I used to get like that, not so much anymore, but I'm still guilty of it every once in a while. I'll
Yeah,
catch
driving
myself saying,
just
"What a fucking idiot," you know, and then I'll catch myself and go, "What the hell am I doing that for?"
yeah. My
Because I'm
grandmother
always
said driving would test the patience of a saint. So yeah, I'll share my screen. I got a good picture of it up here. Um, I think this is the one that just came out. I might be wrong, but I think it's supposedly like a Mercadian projection of the cosmic X-ray. Is my screen sharing?
Yep, it's black right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Look at that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh?
It looks like a face. It looks like
I think it.
looks like a guy looking down, thinking. The big yellow part, the
I can
yellow
see
part,
like
the
yeah.
nose, and his eyes would be at the center.
Maybe he's got a big bright third eye as well.
Yeah, and that would be right there in the middle of his forehead. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. No, I see it. Bit
That's
like the face on the moon, huh?
yeah.
Yeah, it's really so. Like this seems to me like if well, this is like a cosmic X-ray. This is like a Mercadian projection X-ray map of the cosmos. But it seems like the universe is like dissolving from in the middle as it expands, and I can see how the term "it's a hot mess." I think Phil called it a hot mess. It does look
Nice.
like a hot mess, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. You zoom in. I got an app that it's called Aladdin Light, and it's got all these telescope, radio interferometer, all that, different telescope views uh, embedded in the program, and you could just switch back and forth. And yeah. I actually found Yaldabaoth in there. It looks just like Yaldabaoth, so the wing disc, all of it. And I mean, it's like crazy. When I don't know, it's all of that information now to me is like, okay, it's there, but it's not the meat and potatoes, of reality. Because
yeah, I found some video actually. It was like it came up on the algorithm. It was like deciphering the Mayan script. Let me put that on. And the guy didn't really know what he was talking about at all. This thing. Am I still screen sharing?
Yes. And Maya means illusion, right?
Maya.
It means illusion.
Oh no, it was something else. But it was like a picture of like a god on the right, and then three people on the top and three people on the bottom. But yeah, the dude didn't really. I'll stop the share now. The dude didn't
talking
really
about
know
CFAP's recent video when they found that in Aslan Tepe. That here.
what was that?
I've got it on my phone, but I wonder if I can send it. It looks like the Dogon relief of with the winged disc up in the sky above the people, and then there's I gotta look for it real quick. Give me a second here and I'll find it. My computer's just been acting up on me, so I'm trying here.
So another interest. I was reading the Book of Kings, trying to get my head around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like I only got through the first. To be honest, I only got through the first 4 verses of it before, and like I kind of got stuck. I didn't kind of get stuck. I did get stuck. But it's very interesting. It's like a riddle. It is really like a big riddle. A bit like how Phil was talking about the Book of Revelation being like a they're like kind of anagogical riddles that, and I didn't understand what Phil was talking about the 24 thrones, the 24
elders. Yep.
and he was explaining how it's actually the logos, that symbolism.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember, I think we did a live stream ages ago where we like discussed that, didn't we?
I
Do
think
you
so.
remember?
And I don't know even know if we were even close.
Yeah, we were talking about how it was. Phil was, I think he was saying back then how it was like 24, 12 pairs of cranial nerves, and
Yeah,
like
that
the
was one
30.
aspect of it.
Yeah, that was one aspect of it. Yeah, but he was, isn't it like a macabre has 24, like
Yes.
not 24 like points on it, but 24 like
24
sides,
surfaces.
24 surfaces.
Yes.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Like a pyramid has how many triangles, or a tetrahedron. Tetrahedron has what is it? 4? No, no. 8? No. 12? I'm not sure. What does a tetrahedron have? How many surfaces does a tetrahedron have? Now you got me
Um,
sidetracked on what I was looking for here. Here it is. I'm gonna. What, did you take the video down? No way. Oh, here it is. All right, I'm gonna play this real quick, and I'm gonna find the spot. It's at 5.
Or whatever they are right here.
Okay,
Here is this is some.
here is the image. Let me share it. You see this? Can you see it?
mhm.
See this?
Oh yeah. That's the Babylonian one, isn't it?
I don't. It was found in Turkey in March of 2020, and it dates back 5,000 BC.
Yeah, that one's excellent, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, I wanted to ask Phil what this is, the Eye of Ra, right? That's what this
Right.
is, right?
Yeah.
But why is this? Is this the one who's seen the light already on the left? Because this isn't above his head, and it looks like he's got wings on now.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
It's like
And why are they both pouring water into whatever these vessels are? What does that symbolize? That's what I was wondering. Because I know what the 3 and 4 symbolize, like the prism and the chakras, the tree of life layout, the archetype for the tree of life,
hmm.
and all that, because, 4 is the physical side, the intellect, the, emotion, intuition, etc., or elements, you know, those are the creatures or whatever. And then the 3 is, the thrice great God, or the 3 aspects of the
Spirit.
the union itself, right? The
Yeah.
bridegroom and divine child, or the abyss, the light and God, pleroma, right? I mean, that's pretty much synonymous. Those are all, I mean, and what's this? Is this the crook or the flail or a golf club?
Golf
Yeah.
club.
you know,
Yeah, some kind of pipe.
yeah. Are they smoking the chong or what?
Who knows?
But I mean,
Yeah.
this is just like the Dogon relief, of when the tree of life is depicted, and then it's got that at the top, that wing disc, and it's always this wing disc thing.
Well, if you see the guy on the far left, he almost looks like he's got a Dogon hat on himself anyway.
Yes, he's got a scepter here, and this must be it becoming part of him, right?
Yeah. I've seen, yeah, maybe it's like some alchemical thing that they're filling up like the cups.
Now I'm going to say hi to everybody in chat here. We've got, let me see, Susie Fairfield. Hello. Anthony J. Allie Brandy. Gotta fuck. I swear they got their name just so I say that. Sat Sun. What's up, Saturnarian Sun? Thothaman. Anthony, I already said your name, but hey, everybody. Glad you could join us. Need to Know's in the house. Who else is here? Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. Sorry I didn't have any. When the body suffers, the soul flourishes. I'd love to have a collection of every hat ever worn. That would be cool. What all that work to chase women for sex takes away mental power from playing rock and roll. Oh, Thoth, have you seen my new drum? Check this out. I don't know if you'll like this, but I'm not too swift at playing it yet, but yeah, names are just names. And I think we just need to realize that, we're all going to describe things differently and we're all going to see things differently. And names are just one piece of the puzzle.
Your sound seems to have gone, Steve. It's gone real quiet.
It's gone real quiet where?
I don't know if that's my hold on.
Yeah, but this is a 12-inch one and it's got 13 notes.
Cool.
13 notes.
Oh, there we go.
That sounds like the Boost Mobile chirp that I used to have for work. That chirp that you just had going on there. What is alone? All one.
All one. Yeah, I
one
just
is
need to go
one.
to my sound settings, Steve. I can't hear you for some reason.
Can you hear me now? How about now? Can you hear me now?
Let me put it on a.
Can you guys hear me all right?
It could just be my
Is it
computer.
ringing in your ears right now? You'd like to fall down a hole or yell down a hole, or it's like he fell down a hole. Hello down there. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Is it me?
Oh, I can hear you now. Yeah. You went all quiet, but I can hear you again now. I don't know what that's all about.
Oh, it was Jack that you couldn't hear? Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack better plug in his microphone stick.
Yeah, so do you want to go through this bit of Kings?
Yeah, what's that?
Maybe you can help me out. Maybe.
Okay.
Well, the other thing as well, it's should we just pull up the King James version instead of not the King James version, the New International version?
Sure.
So. Yeah, it's I read, I spent about 20 minutes, maybe more. Ah, man, what the hell? The name's different in
What?
hold on. All right, so this dude in the there's actually a different name. So King David is dealing with a dude called, oh no, it's just the title. So the title in my book here, it says Abishag ministers to David, right? Did you know what Abishag means?
No.
I'll tell you what it means, right? So Abishag means the amazing name of Abishag, meaning in etymology. It's really trippy. It means the father wonders, the father of error. So you know who Abishag is then automatically by saying that.
The father of error?
Yeah. But it says here on this website, Abishag mentioned in the Bible is a pulchritudinous young Shalmanite whose David's servants hired to keep the king warm during Jerusalem's long and cold nights.
That's odd.
David had 6 wives, but apparently neither of them gave off any warmth anymore. I mean, that's not what it says in the Bible, but so yeah, Abishag is
It sounds like what's his name on what was that? The Spy Who Shagged Me. Do I make a Randy, baby? Do I? Abby Shag.
well, what's his name? I forget the
Michael
bloke's
Myers
name.
is his real name.
Michael Myers, yeah, that's it, yeah. So yeah, this is what it says here. King David, Abishag ministers to King David or to David, and Abishag is the father of error. So you could say like that's Satan,
the imperfect creator, yes.
Yeah, ministering, like teaching David about creation, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like King David was old. Now King David was old and stricken in years. They covered him in clothes, but he got no heat. So like
King David is the heart ready for God, right? And that's what King David is.
Well, this is what I thought. This is where I got confused. When King David was very old, he couldn't. I'll read the New International Version. When King David was very old, see, this is why things have multiple meanings. It might mean one thing at one point in time, then it might mean something else at another point in time. And I'll explain. He says, when King David was very old, he could not keep warm, even when they put covers over him. So his attendants said to him, let us look for a young virgin to serve the king and take care of him. She can lie beside him so that our Lord can keep warm. So that's 1 and 2. Oh man, it is kind of better in the King James Version, how it says. But it's talking about King David not having any heat, right? So I'm wondering, right, if King David is looking for like a young virgin, surely the young virgin they're referring to is like the primordial chaos.
Yeah, or anybody that is willing to have King David in their heart, or their heart transformed through King David, or the one who is closest to God is, that's how I see King David.
Yeah, so I was thinking King David is like here, he's old and stricken in years. Yep. So like when it talks about him being an old man, like an old man is like a symbolic representation of the Logos or the pineal light, right?
Yeah, the anointing, yes.
Yeah, and it says they covered him with clothes. So the covering of like the pineal light with clothes, you could say, I mean, I'm reaching here, but does that mean the cosmos is like the clothes
of the creator?
Do you know what I mean?
What are cloves though? Look up the word cloves. What does it mean? What is it? What's the definition for cloves?
The etymology of clothes. Do you know the answer?
No, I don't. Yeah, I bet you it has something to do with 3 or 4,
Let's have a look.
you know.
Clothes.
You said cloves as in V, right? As in Victor? Cloves?
No, not clothes as in the like herb. Clothes as in like clothing that you wear.
Oh, clothes. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, gotcha.
So
Well,
do
yeah,
you see what I'm saying now? They covered him
now
with
I
clothes.
understand. Now I get you. Yeah, I thought you were
Does that
saying
make
clove,
sense
but
then?
yeah, yes.
Yeah. But it says they covered him with clothes, but I'm just going to stick with the King James book here because I've got it in front of me. But so they covered him with clothes, but he gat no heat. So like, is that statement? So I'll read this statement again. Now King David was old and stricken in years, and they covered him with clothes, but he gat no heat. Is that talking about the moment of creation in that one sentence there? You got David, the light, is going to be covered with clothes, but covering him with clothes is,
There's something of the physical world, right? That's
yeah, but the clothes aren't enough to give him heat, right?
right.
So, because you could say heat is like also the fire of God as well. That's another way of looking at it, possibly. And it goes on, right? Wherefore his servant said unto him, let there be sought for my lord, the king, a young virgin, and let her stand before the king. Let her cherish him. Let her lie in thy bosom, that my lord, the king, may get heat. So there's like the virgin. See, this is why I'm thinking, is David like the mind here, and the virgin, the young virgin's the heart. So it's like a union of the two that gives birth to like the cosmos. Do you see what I mean? That's
Yeah,
the heat.
the virgin would be like the
Like,
meat, right? You or me.
yes, yes, that's it. Yeah, that's it. We'd be the virgin. So this is talking about like our chemical wedding. Do you see what I mean?
Yep.
So it's talking about creation and ascension, like kind of simultaneously there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so the first verse was about creation. Like David was old and stricken in years, and they covered him with clothes, but he got no heat. Also, I'd say like maybe David could even be he could be like John. He's an ascended human. But yeah, I don't want to confuse myself too much, right? So they sought. So I'll read on. So they sought for.
That's why it's a blessing to have somebody like Yvonne or Phil that can, give you some insight on, what it truly is, because,
We got stumble around, haven't we?
yeah, and that's exactly.
But I think though, rather than be like, oh yeah, it's this. It definitely means like this. You and I together, we can like narrow down the possibilities.
Right, and I think that comes from just pure thought and thinking on it for a while, and kicking it around in your own head, and I think that's what the whole knock and you will be heard thing is about, and have faith and all that stuff is about, just because I know somebody that can answer the questions doesn't mean I always ask the question, and who's to know if I even accept that answer that I get, because there's been so many times where I've thought I've never heard that before, but I've heard it before, and the information doesn't even sink in until it's ready, until you're ready for it to. Even if you come across it or you have a fleeting thought to ask the question, unless you're ready for that information, it will not set in you. It's like if you're not of the frequency of that information, it will not take its hold.
There's like an incompatibility, you mean?
Yeah, and that's that's, just each one of us is on a different, octave of that same truth finding mission. And, until we all realize that it's going to all end at the one source, the one energy, the one thing that we all are, and we are always going to be that. It's it's always going to be convoluted and separate because that's where we are in a fallen state.
Mm.
you
Yeah.
know
Yeah, see if you can figure out this next bit then, Steve, in your wisdom. I got to look up one of the words though, because there's so yeah, Abishag meant father of error. Okay, so they went through, so they sought for a fair damsel throughout all the coasts of Israel, and found Abishag, uh, uh, a Shunammite, and brought her to the king.
And we just looked up this word. Was it you and I that looked this up, or
So Shunammite, we looked up Abishag.
no?
Okay, yeah. So,
No, Yvonne just looked this word up, and she explained what it meant in one of her videos.
what?
It'll ring my bell when you say it.
What? Shumanite.
Shumanite.
Shunammite. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here on
This is where
Abarim,
yeah.
go on. So
No,
what
go
were you
ahead.
gonna say?
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm on Abarim Publications, and it says that
Wasn't it a
to sharpen, to be quiet. It says here it comes from perhaps from the verb shan, to be quiet, or the verb shanan, to sharpen, to be teethed. So they say they don't really know the etymology, and the name is unknown. They don't actually know, but perhaps silence or teeth. So they admit they don't know.
yes. What's up, Code? Code's in the building.
What did Yvonne say about it? Can you remember?
To be non-ignorant.
So not in a state of ignorance.
Yeah, or to not ignore. I don't know. That's what Sat Sun said. But Shunammite, I can't remember where I heard that. I don't know. It's just weird. I can't remember.
Well, maybe they're right because they're saying. I don't know. It's only a possibility, but they're saying.
What is it? Wisdom through silence.
Yeah, that's like to sharpen your mind through silence or something like that. That kind of makes sense.
Okay, so read on, Shunammite.
So yeah, so they sought for a fair damsel throughout all the coasts of Israel and found Abishag, the father wonders, the father of error, a Shunammite, and brought her to the king. This is the bit I didn't understand next. And the damsel was very fair and cherished the king and ministered to him. But the king knew her not. I found that interesting. I couldn't figure out that bit. But yeah, so the fair damsel throughout all the coasts of Israel. See, would you say the coasts of Israel would be like the cosmos or like the abyss? It's got to be one of the two.
What is Israel?
Israel, one who has seen God.
Yeah.
So the coasts of Israel would probably be the abyss.
Or the emotions, the intellect, the four aspects of them in intellectual or psychic or psyche aspect, as well as the elements. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think about it in the different aspects of metaphysics.
Hello? Shu is like spirit. To know is.
You there, Steve? I think my connection's gone.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're back.
Oh, did I drop out?
Yeah.
So anyway, so they went through the coasts of Israel, and then they found Abishag, the father of wonders, a Shunammite, something about silence, and brought her to the king. That's a very
Like coast of Israel, like the rivers of the four rivers of
To
Eden.
me, I don't know. I don't know if I'm right or wrong here, but it seems to me that the coast of Israel, if you say Israel's one who's seen God, or the coast of Israel, the coast is like implies where the sea meets the land, doesn't it? So maybe it's like
Where the
outside of the
abyss meets the light,
cosmos.
or
Huh?
maybe it's a reference to the cross, to the 4 points of the cross.
I mean, if you take it as that, I can't. Yeah, but so that just in that one line alone. So they sought for a fair damsel throughout. That's you or me throughout the coasts of Israel. I guess
Oh,
the coast of Israel is like just like outside it kind of like the point of crossing, maybe the coast of Israel, because the coast is where the land meets the sea. Do you see
yeah.
what I mean?
Okay, so yeah, it'd be the Bethlehem or the house of bread or the
Right, yeah. So they sought
that
for
makes sense.
a fair damsel, you or me, as an ascended human, at the point of crossing all the coasts of Israel, and they found Abishag, the father who wonders, the wandering father, the father who errs, and he's a Shunammite in silence, and brought her to the king. So it sounds like they're talking about the moment of ascension, basically, in that one.
Yeah.
So it's basically, yeah. So they're still talking about ascension. They haven't flipped back to creation yet. Do you see what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, and it's like every one of the stories is the same thing, just in a different context.
Yeah, it is the same thing. Yeah, that's the beauty of like understanding the archetype, because you can. Yeah, I'll read it to you again, Steve. And the last line I gave up on, I didn't understand what it meant. Maybe you can see something that I'm missing. Yeah, they sought for a fair damsel throughout all the coasts of Israel and found Abishag, the father errors, a Shunammite, silence, and brought her to the king. Yeah, this definitely talking about ascension in that.
Yeah.
Or ascension in creation, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, how it's found, how yeah, the damsel would be, yeah, that makes sense. What we just said, yeah.
Now this is why I didn't understand the next statement. I couldn't get this. I just said the damsel was very fair and cherished the king and ministered to him, but the king knew her not. Why does the king know her not?
The desire, because her, or the damsel could be the desire, and then the Shunammite could be the will coupled with desire, creating silence through knowing, or silence and knowing. That's the Shunammite, maybe. But yeah, whenever there's a reference to the Virgin Mary or Mary of the Bible, I think desire for some reason.
How come?
Desire for God or desire for spirit.
Right. Rather than like desire for like money and wealth and power and blah blah, temporal desire rather. Yeah.
Married with the will of God, or the will of King David, or the will of man, and that gets you, the divine child.
Yeah, I don't understand why, because I kind of understand those first 3 verses in the Book of Kings if I like go through it like we just went through it, and it makes sense. But yeah, why the king knew her not? Is it, see, maybe is it saying now, I'm taking a stab in the dark here. So David is the king, the mind, and the fair maiden is the heart. The damsel was very fair and cherished and ministered to the king, but the king knew her not. Does that mean like ascension is just about to take place? The king knows her, the heart and the mind, the damsel and the king haven't met yet, but they're just about to meet. So are we at the moment of ascension again?
Yeah, maybe
here?
switch the heart and the mind as as you described it, maybe. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because I think King David is the heart prepared for God, or that's what I think. Because the king is a throne, throne of God is the heart, right?
Yeah, I think with these, sometimes a character can be representative of like the logos. Sometimes the character can be represented. Basically, to me, it's like David represents the seventh kingdom.
Need to know says Joseph knew, NEW, her not, and yet she conceived in some translations. So
that's talking about Genesis.
Yes, it's talking about that.
Oh, not Genesis.
It's
That's the New
talking about the
Testament.
divine child being born from a virgin. That's the whole Virgin Mary story, because it's not about physical sex or copulation. It's about, the whole, like you said, the divine marriage or the divine union within us that creates the child. Because we're all virgins, in the physical creation until we have divine union with our true self.
The consummation of the
alchemical
alchemical wedding. Yeah.
The culmination of the great work, whatever you want to call it,
That's all I can think of really, is the damsel was very fair and cherished the king and ministered to him, but the king knew her not. It's almost as if there's a connection is going to take place between the heart and the mind. Like the king, the mind doesn't know the damsel, the heart, at this statement. Do you know what I mean? With the knew her not. If that to me intuitively sounds like the way Yvonne would explain it if I was like listening to her.
Yeah, but I think she's the heart is King David, the mind or the thoughts are the desire, or whether or not it's fleshly desires or spiritual desires is matters, whether or not it's a harlot or a like a Virgin Mary or a Mary type. But I think or Lilith or Mary, that's the two aspects of desire. Just like there's two aspects of our heart, which is what? Good and evil, or king and right? So I don't know, but yeah.
Maybe this next sentence puts it into perspective. So it says, then Adonai Jah. So Adonai means Lord, and Jah is another God name. But they even use in Rastafarianism. So like, then Adonai Jah, the son of Haggith, exalted himself, saying, I will be king. And he prepared chariots and horsemen and 50 men to run before him. That just sounds straight up like Yaldabaoth, doesn't it? Like, yeah, I'm king. Like Samael, blind god.
Yeah. This is why I read it and I just sit there and think about it, and I get stuck on one sentence for like hours.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I was saying, man. I got stuck on that fourth sentence for ages, but then I don't even know what Haggith means. Like Adonijah, the son of Haggith. Like, what does Haggith mean? You got to look up these words, otherwise you don't get anywhere with it, do you?
Right. What's up, Dark Truth? Symphony of Soul says, asking a question. Ask King a quest I on. Good one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
That's literally breaking up the word salad. It's the same reason why you get 12 virgins in heaven. Well,
In paradise, they say in Islam,
yeah,
don't they?
Valhalla. Isn't it 72 virgins in Valhalla? Or is that the Islam
I
interpretation?
don't know, man. Steve, I can't be bothered with. Okay. Oh no, I've only got Wikipedia. The amazing name Haggith. Okay, it means to celebrate, to gather for a festival from Hagag. Haggai. There is one Haggith in the Bible, and she isn't very fortunate. She is one of Israel's King David's lesser known wives. So, like, okay, if King David had 6 wives, okay,
Yeah,
that statement alone.
that's direct reference to these 6 chakras before, the 7th.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The 6 kingdoms. You can say there's 7 kingdoms, but there's also 6 kingdoms as well, aren't there?
Well, yeah,
The 7th is the completion of the first.
right. And King David would be the Anya, or the 6th, right? The
Right, yeah,
the one closest to God.
Ajna.
Yeah.
So Adonijah, the son of Haggith. So this dude, the son of the festivities, exalted himself, saying, "I will be king." Okay, yeah. So it's like we're back at creation now. That statement is talking to creation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when he goes, okay, he's going to be prepared chariots, horsemen, and 50 men, blah, blah, blah. It's like a bit kind of dramatic, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, there's something attached to the number 50 in that sentence.
Yes. Yeah. 50 in gematria is, I think it's one of the double letters. No, it's not. Aleph, Beth, Gimel. I can't remember that. I used to.
Satsun says
Noon.
6 wives. That's a lot of drama. What?
50 is noon.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
And you know what that is?
Yeah. So noon is
The waters.
fish. Well, noon means fish, but
Yeah,
noon is the waters of noon. Fish and
waters.
waters kind of go hand in hand.
That's the noon in Anunnaki.
Yeah.
As well as, because Anunnaki can be translated in Anu, sky father, Na as an on in earth, but it can also be translated as prince of God on earth, or something like that. Yeah. Or no, prince of fish on earth, or something like that.
Yeah. The fish. Yeah.
And that's where the whole Sargon mitre hat comes from and all that stuff.
Yeah, that definitely just, I guess really when you're going through each like verse in the Bible, doesn't really matter where it is.
It's the same thing.
You can pretty much guarantee they're either going to be talking about ascension
every time
or creation. But the other theme they talk about is the 7 kingdoms as well.
Yes,
because
the chakra is the building up within you to prepare yourself for the light. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what 7 days a week is about. That's what the Sabbath is about. And that's it all lines up. It's just like incredible that, everything we thought was a lie is actually true, but in a different context. because that's the thing that people have issues with, is it was all a lie. Well, because your ego was convincing you it was a lie, because you were looking through the prism of not a fully, and that recently I came across, I never realized this, but the 7 colors of the rainbow and the makeup of those, dude. There's 4 primaries and then there's 3 secondaries. And the 3 secondaries are made up of 2 of each of the primaries, and it's just like, what the hell? And it's, what is that archetype? It's
Oh God, yeah.
What?
Talking of archetypes, okay. So I just looked up Adonai Jah, what the name means, and according to this website, it means Lord is Yahweh. That makes sense, Adonai Jah, because I know Jah is the god name of Hokmah, which is in the supernal triangle. But anyway, yeah. So if I substitute the names, then it says, then Lord is Yahweh, the son of the festivities, exalted himself, saying, I will be king. And he prepared himself chariots and horsemen and 50 men to run before him.
And what are chariots and horsemen of the Bible?
And 50, you could say, and fishmen to run before him. Fishmen as in, oh man, these texts are so weird when you suddenly realize there's a way of interpreting them.
Yes, 432 code. That's exactly what I was getting at.
432 code.
Well, because code said, that, the thing I was just talking about are the 4 primaries, the 3 secondaries, with each one of those secondaries from the 2 of the primaries. So 432, that's that's 9 also. That's, counting the ineffable, everything is 9, right? I mean, in the numerical sense, I mean,
are you talking about the archetype of like different archetypes of numbers? You mean
just
the occult meanings of numbers?
Yeah,
not even meanings is the right word.
You're right.
432 is supposedly what
the tuning for the scale for a guitar, right?
Well, yeah, they say that they changed it to 440 and it's a big conspiracy, but I mean, I don't know, man. It's like whatever. I'm still undecided on that one. I never really gave it much significance.
I bet the Holy Ghost provided sex in exchange for information and money and whatnot.
I'm going to read this one more time. Then Lord is Yahweh, the son of the festivities, Haggai, exalted himself. So pretty much when anyone exalts themselves in scripture, it's talking about Yaldabaoth and Samael.
And they're holding their hands up with the disc, the red disc above there. That's like the ka position too, right? Exaltation, isn't it? Or is that prostration?
Yeah, but this is self-exaltation.
Oh.
See what I mean?
Yes.
Because it clearly says he exalted himself.
Yeah, man.
So that's like this. That's the ego of the creator, isn't it?
And that's what we're caught up in right now in our world. Even in chat, even me, we're all caught up in that still. And I think that ego is one thing, just like consciousness. We can't think we're all connected through the one and then think we're separate from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is how, when you really realize that, how you truly become alone, and that's meaning you're all one. It's just crazy when because when you stick to, you realize when things are this way and there's no other way, you just start, like Phil said, you just start seeing a chasm between those who are,
on that note, Steve, it seems to me like in Phil's early days, in his early videos, if I watched enough times, I'd start to intellectually grasp what it was he was describing.
Mhm.
But it seems like he's like the gulf is like widening still. Do
Oh,
you know
it's
what I mean?
getting deeper
It's
and
like,
deeper. And you know why that is?
well, yeah, I
Stakes are
understand
getting
why
higher
that
and
is.
higher.
Huh?
The stakes are getting higher and higher for each of us. Seriously.
Uh, what do you mean by that? The stakes is getting higher
Harvest,
and higher.
the cream, you know, it's harvest time. And I don't mean that in a negative way.
Oh, what? Are you like we're at the end of some kind of
No, I'm not saying that
cycle?
either. I'm not saying
No,
that.
no, 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 no,
Could be.
no. We're at the end of some kind of cycle. I mean, in the
Yes,
rhythm of the cosmos.
yes.
Yeah. No,
And
I
it is
definitely.
that way. That's what we all intuitively feel. All of us feel it. Everybody does.
Oh, what if, like,
Maybe it's that way every generation, I don't know.
well, no, I mean, this. I don't know. I feel like I'm living in wartime at the moment. I really do. I don't know if I'm just being delusional, but I do kind of feel like nation states have declared war on their people, on their citizens.
Well, the nations in the Bible are what? What are the nations in the Bible? Our thoughts, our ego of what we think things are.
Mm.
That's how I see it. Nation will be come up against nation, right?
What, like Gog
Nation
and
in the Bible
Magog?
means what to you?
The Bible means what to me? Well,
Nations in the Bible. Nations.
oh, nations.
Nations. Nation.
Have you looked up the etymology of that word?
Well, what does nation mean? A collection of people, thought, ideals, right?
Yeah, all with their own free will.
Right. Well, what is that? A bunch of thoughts. It goes
Yeah.
running to and fro. Nations is our ego running amok, right?
Let's
That's
see
how
the etymology of the word nation.
What's up, Mickey? Later on, Genevieve. I'm glad you could show
A
up.
race of people with common ancestry and language. Birth, origin, breed, stock,
Yes, we are
tribe.
the ones we're waiting for, Genevieve. I agree with that. Yes, I think our ego is a good tool to bring us to,
Uh,
without our ego, we would not have contrast to what is good. And that's, just like everything else. Without clouds in the sky, we wouldn't know what the sky, we wouldn't have anything to define the sky by,
hmm.
right? Or, the light.
Don't you think it's really interesting, actually, talking of observing the sky? Don't you think it's really interesting? Like, there are 7 planets that are visible from Earth.
Yeah,
Like, what is that all about?
it's divine, dude. I mean, it's part of the whole system. I mean, there's always 7, there's always 5, there's always 3, and there's always 1.
It's very, yeah, there's definitely a grand design, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the pyramid, 4 points to 1 point, and that's
What do
5.
you think happens to atheists when they get into the mental realm when they die?
Well, they're just like you or I. If they're stuck on everything is revealed when you die, regardless if you die before you die or you die when you die. You know what I mean?
You
If
think so?
Yeah, I think we're all, yeah.
Oh
I mean,
man, I don't know, man. I like after reading the
there's the
Tibetan
do
Book of the Dead, it
the
seems like
right heart ceremony or whatever, against the feather mayat,
it,
all of that.
yeah, it seems like
And we do that on our own, in our own, you know, uh, mind space, which is everywhere, which is consciousness.
hmm,
Because, dreaming is the big brother or the little brother to death, right? I mean, so dreaming is the do what essentially.
it's like preparation, isn't it,
Yeah, it's
for it?
practice. Because you can
Yeah.
manifest anything you want in a dream. right?
Well, I
Yeah.
don't know. I still think lucid dreaming has been a very rare experience for me. It's
Yeah.
not something I can just do at will. I
Nor
think
can I.
people can train themselves to get good at it though. Like,
Yeah, they say to put a red ball or something in your room and concentrate on that red ball when you're falling asleep. And if you see it in your dream, then you're lucid dreaming. You
yeah,
know?
there's lots of different techniques. Well, for me, it's always flying, Steve. I'm always flying, and sometimes I'll be like walking along, and I'll just start hovering off the ground, and I'm able to stay hovering off the ground as I'm moving forward. And I'm like, oh man, I'm flying.
You know that feeling when you're falling asleep and you get that jerk? You know that feeling?
Not like you're traveling at light speed.
No, just how when you're falling asleep and all of a sudden you'll jerk and you catch yourself, like,
Oh, what? Like you move in your dream and your body will jerk as
well, not
well.
even
And
that.
you
I
wake.
mean, when you're falling asleep inadvertently, usually, and all of a sudden, you get that. I don't know if anybody else has experiences that, but I do. And it's like, I want to say congrats to Mickey. He's on his 4th day of fasting. That's pretty good. Keep
Fourth
going, bro.
day. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the last
That's a
time I
fast.
fasted, it was pretty intense. It was weird. It was like my mind was totally clear. I wasn't really hungry. I didn't want to eat. But as soon as I put food in my mouth, man, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I've gone this long. And it wasn't like I wanted a chow either. But I felt guilty after I did it.
Well, speaking of eating, and you know, apparently, according to UN Agenda 2030, you can get like a vaccine passport without a vaccine if you're a vegan, and you can prove you're a vegan.
What?
What's that all about? I don't know if it's true, but apparently, yeah. You don't, you just got to say you're a vegan, and then you can get off
How's
scot
anybody
free.
going to prove that you don't eat meat or whatever?
I actually don't eat much meat now back home. I've hardly eaten any meat in the last like few months at all.
Yeah, I eat meat almost on a daily basis, unfortunately.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. And it's not really, no, not daily anymore. It's like less and less. I had a burger yesterday. No, yeah, had a burger yesterday. Day before I had a steak. So yeah, I guess I like meat. I'm trying to not eat it, and it's like disgusting to me sometimes where I can't eat it.
Oh man, do you have Chipotle in?
No,
You don't have that. You do.
no, we have it here, but I don't eat it.
Oh man, I once got carnitas, and I thought carnitas was beef, but it was pork. Oh man, I bit into this pork burrito, and it just, I just wanted to vomit after biting into it. Pork can be nasty, man. Sometimes I swear,
Yeah, right.
but not bacon. Bacon's good.
Oh, bacon makes everything better. It's like butter.
Yeah, yeah,
All right, man. I'm gonna.
yeah. You speaking of all this food, you got to cook dinner, haven't you?
I haven't eaten yet. No, I'm just.
Man, I'm gonna get to bed. But yeah, I think we made a good effort with Kings 1-4, 1-5. I like going through these books, man. It's interesting.
Yeah, it gets a little frustrating when you don't have anybody to talk to about it or bounce ideas off, because when you're doing it alone you just get stuck on a certain
Yeah.
thought.
No, you do. That's why I like doing it with you, because you can. There's a good kind of like synergy, but obviously when you go through it with like Yvonne and Phil, it's much. They've got the authority to like be like, yeah, it's saying that. That's what it's saying, and you're like, oh yeah, like the penny drops. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those aha moments are what keep you going, and it's sometimes they're few and far between. And sometimes they just come flooding at you.
I'll read this bit one more time just because I think it's so brilliant. I think this is so brilliant. Then Adonai Jah, which means Yahweh is Lord, the son of Haggith, Haggith means festivities, exalted himself. I just love it when they go on about Yardaboth exalting himself and being like, I'm God. You all about, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just funny. It just makes me laugh how the creator is like this heavy metal, headbanging, Gnostic devil thing, but it's not really at all, is it?
Well, just like everything else, it's what you think it is.
No,
Whatever
you know
label
what I
you
mean,
put on
though.
it. I mean, creation is indifferent. It berates you with truth. I mean, truth is what it is. It doesn't take favorites. It doesn't have enemies. It just is what it is. That's why I said, examine that statement. It is what it is, and that's what the truth is.
But it isn't. It isn't what it isn't, because it never is anyway. It's all gonna die. It's
It is what it
doomed.
is.
Yeah. All right, Steve. I've enjoyed that, man. You take care. Yeah. I'll speak to you later.
Much love, peace, chicken grease,
Yeah.
y'all. Thanks for joining.
Take
Thanks,
care, dude.
Jack.
All right.
Nice
Bye.
talk. Take it easy.